3 reasons why our coil collaboration is twice the shoe and half the price of the world famous Common Projects. Number 1, significantly better leather. Number 2, instead of all this foam and cardboard fill on the inside, we actually use vegetable tan leather for the insole. And number 3, for the first time that we've ever seen, we did that strobo stitch construction with that vegetable tan leather insole. And no one had ever done that before. So unique. They sold out almost immediately last time, and they're back in stock on Thursday. So sign up below.
We're back to the wide toe box work boot world. Because this time we got a really wide one that's pretty work, and a little surprise from the Stridewise. So should be pretty quick. Let's look at the Stridewise bag first. We're using a Lander 5. The Naps guys came to the shop 2 days ago because they're a Utah company too, and we got some ideas cooking. That's what happens. That's what I like. I like meeting people in person, because over text or over email, you know, there's only so much you can get hyped with each other. But as soon as I'm like with other guys that have the same problems I have, which is just like, what if we do this? What if we do that? What if we take it to the most extreme? What if we do it even thicker? It just becomes, it's fun. It becomes a little hype session. We came up with some pretty cool ideas, so be on the lookout for maybe some NAF projects coming out next year, or I guess this year, especially with that new machine we got from Campbell Randall. Shout out Campbell Randall. Might open up some opportunities for stuff more like this, which would be pretty cool. Okay, what do we got? From badleathergoods.com. Stridewise, Nick English from Stridewise. Oh, that thing is heavy. Oh my gosh. That is not light by any means. Dang, look at that. Reinforced padded straps. Big. Oh, I love the scars and scratches. That's what's so cool about this project he did, was all these little scars and scratches. A lot of people would complain about them, but that's why you buy this kind of product, because it does have the scars and scratches. It's a wild boar. I guess if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Stridewise worked with Gallum, I think it's Gallum Tannery here in the US, because they were like the only tannery that was willing to take on this project, where Stridewise sourced a bunch of wild boar hides, which are not javelinas. They're just like basically normal pigs that we eat, but they got let loose and then they grow big thick fur, they get all mean and nasty, they tear up a bunch of farmers' crops, cause a lot of havoc. So one way to take care of them is to murder them and turn them into bags. So that's what they've done here. Look at denim lined, Bad Leather Goods logo, double zip. Nice big pouch there. Denim lined, got a couple little key holder there so you can attach your keys without losing them. So it's thought out, you know, it's not just like, oh, make a quick bag, you know, which I can appreciate. Ooh, and it's so oily and greasy. I think a part of that is because it is pig skin, because pigs, as far as I know about bacon, pretty greasy, so I assume their leather's pretty greasy. I know, I was just on a date with a girl, and she's a little bit more not country than me, and she's like, you hunt? You have guns? Are you kidding me? And I was like, yeah, I don't think it's that bad though. And she's just like, what do you hunt? And I was like, I'm just gonna get out of the way. I'm like, I go bear hunting. You know, she's like, oh my gosh, why would you ever do that? That's so disgusting. Like, they're just poor innocent little bears. And I'm like, ugh. Yeah, except for if you don't take care of the population, they literally just kill the baby bears, which maybe in this political world at this moment, more acceptable. Shout out every politician, the Epstein files, eating babies, it's fine. But I guess the point I'm getting at was, I grossed her out because she was like, well, what do you do with them? How do you, like, do you eat it? You what? And I was like, yeah, you can sausage it because it's so greasy, but even like when you're skinning a bear, it's just nothing but grease coming off of that thing. There are some greasy animals. And so I was gonna kind of relate that to pigs being greasy, but I can't remember. I can't remember if it's pigs are not actually relatives to bears, or if they are. I feel like that they're actually not, and that's just some scientific BS that I've been perpetuating. But it's greasy, it's gritty, it's got a lot of texture to it. And that's the point of this bag, I guess, is kind of what I was trying to wrap it around to full circle. Was it's really easy living in the city to forget that all the meat that you eat came from an animal. All the leather you wear comes from an animal. And that was our whole concept with the blood core. And that's a similar concept what Nick did here, was like, leave the scars and scratches, show that this used to be a living animal, show that this animal, even though it's a pest and everyone wants to murder it because they do nothing but ecological disaster, you can still use their hide and honor their life after death. even if it is this animal that literally every farmer hates. And I think it's okay to be reminded of that. I think it's okay to not forget that to get the benefits of some of these materials, you do have to pay the emotional and ethical price of it. So did I convince that girl to be okay with hunting? No, she made me take my gun out of my truck. She didn't make me, she definitely made me actually. She made me take my gun out of my truck. But, let's see how it looks. Woo! Ready for school. Animal murder school. I like backpacks. Some people are like, you look like a kid. And I'm like, I didn't want to grow up anyway, okay? It's not my choice, it just happened. And like, when Strideways was texting me, he's like, are you a satchel guy? Are you like a bag guy? I'm like, no, I am not. I'm not that fancy or classy. I'm a backpack guy. So if you want that really cool backpack, check out badleathergoods.com. My good bud Stridewise, his brand. And go watch, I'll link some of the videos below of when he was here. We did the White's Chelsea boots together, did a little unboxing, a few other things. Look at all these kilties. You know, we originally started selling our kilties in limited sizes and our 4 or 5 standard leathers, but they're so popular and people are always asking us for more specialty leathers that other brands use, like some Red Wing leathers, some Shrunken Bison leathers, some Whites and Thoroughgood leathers, and Bloodcore. And then all these new kilty leathers also come in our coasters, and these have been really popular. The Shrunken Bison, like this black Shrunken Bison, the tobacco Shrunken Bison, and the chocolate, because look how thick they are, you know, and they just have a really cool texture. They're just really tactile feeling, you know, they just kind of have a nice feel to them. And they come in all of our different sizes, our fringe kilties and our no-show kilties from 6-inch all the way up to 10-inch, and even some quarter-bin no-show kilties. So check them out below, protect your investment. Kilties are made to help protect your tongue from wearing out, prevent stuff getting inside your boot, take a little bit of space up if you got a case of the lads, so check them out below. Okay, now let's check out the Texarados. Texarado. If you don't know who Texarado is, they are a newer company that I believe that they're based in Colorado, but they've got their roots in Texas. And it's a really cool blend of like Texan, Western kind of workwear combined with the anatomical shape of wide toe box stuff that for the most part, every freaking wide toe box brand, except for like 4 or 5 of them, make really cheap, like synthetic based stuff that's just glued together, really junky. And you got brands like Texarado and a few others that are really doing things differently and really blending that heritage world with the wide toe box world. So what do we have in here? When they released this, I sent him a DM and I was like, send that to me right now. I want that. I want that. Let's open it. Shout out Texarado for sending this in. Look at these. Yeah. Dang, look how thick that midsole is. I feel like they beefed that up even since last time I saw these. Nice. Okay, let's take a look. They smell good. Look at that. That is about as barefoot as you can get. Look how ridiculous that thing is. That is so wide. That's literally a big toe width wider than my foot. I have pretty narrow feet, but any of you guys that are always like, no, I wish they were wider, that's not a wide toe. This is wide. This is wider than my hand. This is wider than a 2x4. What else do I have to compare it to? A 2x4 is roughly the same width of my hand. So that is literally wider than a 2x4. I'm sure Brody can do a shot of it. But are they too wide? That's always my question with these wide toe box boots, and that's why we've been designing our own little Rose Anvil anatomical sneaker last, because there's a lot of people that need this width, and there's a lot of people that this is way too much. But that's not the point of this, right? Like, because no one else makes anything like this. At the most extreme of width, at the most extreme of literally completely flat barefoot style, and still built to the quality that you'd want from a heritage quality good or product or boot or whatever. You know, because you've got let's just look at the layers. So outsole, it's basically like a Vibram or a Meramec style outsole. It's usually a wedge, but it's flattened out completely flat. My guess is this a Meramec outsole, just from the pattern. And maybe it's not, it may just be some random brand down in Mexico doing it. Then you've got Do you have a slip sole in there? It looks like the outsole's just glued straight to the midsole. The leather midsole above that, that's a nice thick leather midsole, which I was surprised at how thick that thing is, because I think they've beefed it up even since the lace-up boots we reviewed. Then you've got that 360 stitch down construction wrapping all the way around the boot. One single row of stitching. On the inside, you've got a removable flat insert. That's pretty loose grain down there. That could be a little better leather for sure. Is it even real leather? Yeah, it looks like it's real leather. That's a pretty cheap piece of leather though, especially with that plasticky coating on top. Then underneath, is that leather or is that fiberboard? That looks like leather. It smells like leather. I can definitely tell it's made in Mexico. Mexico has such a distinct smell for their leather boots. It smells good. It smells like IFA or Cal Ranch or what is that? Smith & Edwards. So on the inside, you got that veg tan heel counter, which is crazy if it is actually a veg tan. It's gotta be veg tan. I can't imagine they faked that and put a veg tan insole in. And then I'm guessing it's just the veg tan insole is right on top of this veg tan midsole. So kind of crazy. How much is this thing? Okay, so they got, just to show you their 8-inch Bailey that we've never reviewed. We reviewed the 6-inch Bailey. They got their little bison belt, some kilties, some hats. Ooh, I like that one a lot. There it is. Oh, 350 bucks. That's actually a pretty freaking good price for a full heritage construction, full leather. Really, like, where's the room to complain? This? Yeah, that's it. I can think of from the outside. Everything else, especially with that thick veg tan counter. I don't know what's actually supporting the inside veg counter, or I don't really know what, so we'll probably have to cut it in half. A tribute to where we started, Decatur, Texas. Features 2.8 to 3 millimeter cowhide leather upper, so it's thick too, geez. 360 stitch down construction, full leather line, American made outsole, so it's gotta be Merrimack, I bet it is. Decatur is a rugged Western Wellington boot that is designed for chore type work, but refined enough for casual use. Fit, this boot uses our free range Western last for a comfortable fit through the midfoot and heel with room enough for toes to lay naturally. Wide toe box, gives your toes freedom. Flat sole, features consistent thickness from heel to toe. Natural shape, pretty good little boot. And literally nobody else makes anything like this. Like, what else is there for a wide toe box pull on work boot? Yeah, really not much. You know, I'm just quick search on Google while I'm talking shit. And half of these are brands we've worked with already and talked through. Because Jim Green doesn't have a pull on boot. Carrots doesn't. Lambs doesn't. I don't know about Vivo. Vivo could. I just have never seen it. I highly doubt it though. Vivo's kind of like this European, like, kind of fancy barefoot brand, in my opinion. I like them. I'm not talking shit, but it's just like, they're like high tech and fancy and like kind of more earthy than they are heritage. Yeah, there's really nothing on here. What is this boot? That looks interesting. It's not wide, but it's fairly wide. Outpost Western Store. Finoglio. I never even heard of that. Finoglio. I don't freaking know. Fidelio. That's the word I was thinking of. Fidelio. Eyes Wide Shut reference. Another topical reference for this video. Told you. In Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, Fidelio is the password used to gain entry to the secret masked party. Yeah, it turns out that was all true. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't think they're restricting Epstein talk anymore. Meanwhile, Texarado was like, hey, we talk about freaking Epstein for my video. Sorry. Anyway, so pretty sick. 350 bucks. How does this compare to, like, what else is in $350 price range that's built like this? You know, that's up in like the Red Wings, kind of like the standard thing that most people would associate like that $350 price point to. And this is built to the exact same standard, if not more high quality. You know, because I don't know what's in the heel and stuff, but this is at least the Red Wing quality. And Red Wing's vertically integrated, and they're huge, and so they can actually make stuff for cheaper and have higher profit than a small brand like this. So I think it's a good price. I think, like, I've been impressed with Texarado across the board. I think it's a really good option in a world of not very many true wide toe box, heritage-made goods, but especially in Western. It's probably like the only true like Western or wide toe box pull-on boot that you can get. That's actually like a true barefoot with zero drop, wide toe box, all that stuff. So let's try them to break on. Enough rambling. What size do I have? I've got myself a size 10. I'm a 10 on the Brannock. What am I wearing today? Another pull-on boot. Look at these beauties. My Viberg Horwing little collaboration. I'm still convinced this boot is half a size too small. When I resold these, we'll find out, because I think me and Taylor were talking about it. It's still like, because I sent Viberg pictures. I was like, are you sure these are the right ones? He's like, yep. And then I remembered that they had to remake half of my pair because part of it ripped during the lasting, I think. And so my pair got delayed. And so that might be why one is different than the other, but I still think it's half a size smaller. I'm just gonna get it do a resole prematurely because these cat's paw outsoles are pretty sweet, but I'm getting close here anyway. Okay, this boot is literally an inch wider than my entire foot. So let's see how they fit, how they feel. Size 10 on the Brandock. I got a size 10 US. Those are so wide. If you have any issues with width, that just look at the difference there. That is so funny. Let me put them up. This is hard to do. Look at the width difference. Isn't that crazy? So if you got feet like 2x4s, you'll be just fine. So that's it. Check out Texarado. Thanks again to Texarado for sending them in for a quick unboxing to show you what they're working on. Especially for these brands that are small and really doing things different, they need that kind of support. They don't have all the money in the world to buy thousands of units to hope that they sell. And they're clearly doing things unique and different. And that to me is a good sign of a small brand, because there's two types of small brands. Small brands that try to copy what everyone else is doing, and they're like, why is this not working? Why am I not having any success? I don't know, maybe because you're copying what everyone else is doing. And then there's small brands that are really pushing the limits, and it's a gamble in that way because who knows if people are actually gonna like this? Is it too wacky? Is it gonna be too hard to convert them? That's the game you play. And I would way rather, personally, be a brand that takes a risk, and I'd way rather work with brands that take risks. So that's what Texarado is to me, and that's it. So thank you guys. See ya.